some sketchy shit. Doo-dah, doo-dah, hope I get away with it. Oh, the doo-dah day.
Breaking news from Christina, Tennessee. Ed the Zebra has not been found yet.
I got so excited that you were going to say you found him.
Yeah, Ed the Zebra is still on the loose.
I still don't.
And the internet has gone crazy. There are memes of Ed everywhere.
I was going to say the internet's gone crazy. That's not breaking news. What is it this hour?
Oh, but that is the latest. They are still looking for Ed. I don't know what we're going to do about it. Of course, that was 8 hours ago, so I will. This is from Ed Bears, BRES, on Facebook, NC5. What is NC5? Oh, News Channel 5. I just want to make sure. I'm going to give Ed from News Channel 5 the credit for this. But Ed the Zebra is... This was taken earlier, I think, this morning. He just runs the fence rows. Hops up on I-40 and keeps heading. He's from Texas. Oh, did I pull that up? No, I didn't. There he is.
Oh, he's so cute.
Yep. But that is from Ed Beers from News Channel 5.
What's amazing to me is there's no betting yet on Ed. I don't know how many days he'll be free, where he'll be found. I just went and checked Polymarket. Nothing. Polymarket, if you're watching, you need to get on that.
Yeah. On the loose. Carl is all over everywhere down in this area. Be on the now. This is what they tell you: keep an eye out for Ed the Zebra. Do not approach him; it's a wild animal. Don't try to hem him up. For us to catch him. They've called in some special wildlife agency.
Apparently, they're calling in true detectives now.
Yeah. Ed, we're talking about Ed the Zebra. The Escape Tennessee Zebra.
Sure.
He's been on the run for over a week.
Okay.
I'll pull that back up just again.
They couldn't get a picture of him from the front side, though.
Oh, there's pictures of him everywhere.
I wasn't having them, but I feel like I'm going to now.
Do what?
I wasn't having pictures of him everywhere, but I feel like I'm going to now. We've said his name enough times in 5 minutes.
Right.
Of course, Chris said, they need to get a picture of him with the song On the Loose by Saga for Ed the Zebra.
Mhm.
And then he goes, Saga is a band from Canada, by the way. Oh, and Zach, you think you could get tickets to the Edmonton hockey game 2?
Game 2 was last night.
It was.
The second home game was last night. The third home game is there's now, I don't know if it's more. The next day they're in Florida, and then they have 2 games in Florida, and then they're back here for game 5.
Okay.
Because I know Chris sent me a message about it too, and I totally didn't respond. Oops.
Yeah.
No, we didn't win, Carl. We didn't win. We went in
Can't win them all.
30 minutes and lost. Not impressed. Did I almost buy tickets for game 5? Yes. Was I smart enough not to hit purchase? Yes. Was one ticket a 4-figure number? Yes.
Holy shit.
And the first number was not a 1. Now, if we go to game 5 and when we win the Stanley Cup in game 5 in Edmonton, then I will be upset that I didn't buy a ticket.
Yeah.
So we'll see how the next 2 games go. If we win the next 2 games, it might be worth buying a ticket. Or at least being downtown. One of the watch parties or something. It's only been 32 years.
Well, somebody has now made an offer.
Yeah.
I would not want to pull the trigger on that sucker.
No.
That would hurt.
Talk about kick like a mule.
Or a zebra.
Oh, that too.
It really was, Chris. I don't know. He should just come out of retirement. Could you imagine Gretzky and McDavid? And Nurse and Kane and Draisaitl and the other guys, but
No, I think that one's called the Executioner. Who the executionee is up for debate when you pull the trigger. That's a single shot. Would that be allowed in Canada, Zach?
that picture wouldn't be allowed in Canada.
I would like to have a judge. Have you heard of those, Joe?
Which version of the judge?
The 45? 45, 410?
Oh, see, you're not going all out. Or no, you are. 45, 410, and the they'll do a 22 also, I think.
Okay.
Because it does the 45 case hole, the 410 shell, and I think a 22.
I know the judge takes 45 long Colt.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking of. 45 long Colt.
All right, cool. I have figured out why we don't get as many viewers as we should.
Why?
Did you know there is a South Korean K-pop group called Victon? And they have a song called Stupid O'Clock. And I didn't realize if I do it online on the computer, I don't notice it. But if I do it on my phone, I have a Samsung phone, which of course Samsung is Korean. So everything it does goes through Korea, I guess. And
it pulls them up
every time. I could not find Stupid O'Clock on my phone.
Yeah, I can't find it on my desktop either.
So you're closer to Korea than we are. That's what that.
I have to scroll. If I scroll about 20 videos, I get the pre-scheduled Last Man Standing for an hour and 2 hours.
You know what we need to do?
Still haven't found what we're on right now.
We need to build an atomic bomb. Okay.
Oh, here we go.
Not a real one. Just if you ever saw the movie, what was it? The Manhattan Project, where the kid builds the bomb for the science fair project. We need to do that, only without the plutonium, and about the C4 explosives, and and basically, you know, have somebody call it in and say, hey, they're building an atom bomb. And when everybody shows up and goes through it, and they say, and they look at it, and it's nothing but, you know, it's sci-fi, you know, prop or something like that, you know. But we'll get every major news agency on the planet at Joe's house.
No, we're doing it at yours because you're the demolition expert.
I'm an expert. I wouldn't do it at my house. That's why I'm an expert, not an amateur.
And for the Alphabet Mafia listening, this is just talk for our next book.
And I don't know them.
John, we've already covered Ed and the saga of Ed and his roam through Christina, Tennessee.
Ed.
The zebra.
Oh. Okay.
I think
still
you're
ain't
the only
got
one that knew about this zebra, Joe Dog. No one else knew.
I didn't know he was named Ed. Okay, I just thought Ed the zebra. Okay, I'm good. I'm on that sheet of music. So cooking with steam.
I mean, it's you know, it's already got run through its 15 minutes, and now it's, you know, catch the damn thing.
You know, I know how to catch a horse if a horse gets loose. But I got thinking about it. I don't know how to catch a zebra if a zebra gets loose.
How do you catch a horse?
No, zebra and horses are two completely different personalities.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much somebody said a zebra is a mule with an attitude.
I can see that.
That is a damn good description. See, horses usually aren't that smart. They're easy to catch. Mules, zebras, donkeys, that sort of thing. They're smarter.
And you know, he came from Texas, and he came up 40. Guess which way he's headed? West on 40.
Unless, of course, the horse is the famous Mr. Ed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A horse is a horse, of course, of course.
Of course, Ed won that. Oh, hey, wait. They are both named Mr. Ed, aren't they?
Yeah.
Oh. All right. Have we talked rockets? Or we?
No.
No.
Not yet.
You see, so they launched a Sirius XM satellite today.
Is that today?
Was that yesterday?
I don't know. I covered it. It was yesterday.
I I was watching Zach's broadcast. They're counting down. They get like within 50 minutes, and all of a sudden the one appears.
Yeah, we did that about 5 times. Yeah, it was supposed to go at like 10:40 Eastern, and it went at 12:54 a.m.
Don't you love that? Just
No, I don't.
You're trying to plan a show, and it's like
I was trying to plan my evening. Not that I had anything exciting going on, but I was like, nap. That sounds nice. Nope.
okay. And of course, we could talk politics with Trump and Musk.
It's okay. They're friendly soon-ish, maybe.
I think they planned this little spat just to draw attention away from everything else they're doing.
I wouldn't put it past them.
It's politics right there. That's how politics works. That's why we have a two-party system in the United States.
All we know is it was not little X that gave Elon a black eye. It was somebody else in the Oval Office.
Probably a Secret Service agent.
Nope. Another advisor. Apparently Elon thought it was okay to maybe put a fist of pressure onto someone else's stomach or something, and they disagreed.
Ooh.
Rumors, allegedly.
Now they're talking about deporting Musk, and
That won't happen.
You can't do that because he's already a naturalized citizen who came into the United States legally.
And has a few 100 million killer robots that he could sick
I was
on.
also going to say, and if they did do it, the U.S. economy would wake up at a zero the next day.
And Dan, the reason we have no Dan is you
Dan
can't
no
operate StreamYard without electricity.
Yeah, I saw it. I was looking at that. Atlanta got pummeled pretty good today. Is it still there? Has anybody checked on Atlanta? Are they okay?
Yeah, we won't miss it.
We got some trees down in my neighborhood.
It wasn't so bad here. We did get some lightning. We got a little bit of wind, some rain, but it was good rain. Plants got watered. I'm happy. So.
Well, the Walmart on Sugar Road had guys with brooms working the entrance,
Pushing the water back out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had to do that one time in the military, but we got smart and pulled the fire hose off the wall.
Started going water against water.
No. Using it like a squeegee. Just drag it across the floor, drag the water out.
Yeah, y'all don't have those. Military doesn't have them nylon coated or Kevlar coated fire hoses, do they?
No. Well, this was in Germany, so we still had the rubber hose. Looked like something that would go in a car for the radiator. It was that kind of hose.
Okay. Good night, Carl.
Well, have a good night, Carl.
It had fabric in it, but it was coated on the outside of rubber, which is why it made such a great squeegee.
Yeah. It weighed about 15 pounds a foot.
Well, it wasn't even 2 inches.
2 inches of rain?
2
inches of rain?
No. The fire hose wasn't 2 inches in diameter.
Ooh.
That's like 3 Canadian inches.
Give or take the exchange. What printer are you using, Joe Dog? 3D printer?
Elegoo Neptune 4 Max.
Okay.
Can you say that in English?
Yeah.
Have you ever used a bamboo?
I would like a bamboo, but those are for rich people.
Okay.
You saw the agreement on Joe Bachman's face.
Yeah. Which one do you use, Joe Bachman?
I have an artillery Artillery 3D Sidewinder X4 Pro.
Okay, wait. Just to clarify, did you say
order that off
auxiliary?
Wish? It was such a long title.
Did you say auxiliary like AUX, or did you say artillery like incoming?
Incoming.
Okay, just
Interesting. Okay.
that's probably not a good name for a 3D printer.
No.
I learned by mistake the word incoming around a bunch of Marines. It's not a good thing to say.
No, generally not.
It was during. Do you remember when Riverbend was had the F-104s doing their flybys, John?
F-104s,
Yeah,
starfighters.
yeah. It was a pair of F-104 starfighters. They're
No, I do not remember this.
well, their thing was, they were supposed to stay above 500 feet.
Oops.
And I knew they were coming, and they were supposed to come right down Chestnut Street. Well, there are people that do have pictures of them below the peak of the aquarium from inside the Riverbend. They both come single file down Chestnut Street. At about 400, and the Marines had their little display of doing the pull up and all that. And I says, "They're incoming." Them guys dove under Humvees.
Do you blame them?
Yeah, they heard the word incoming, like, what? I said, "Sorry, guys, wrong choice of words." No, thank you.
Have you heard the mayor of Bogota, Colombia? He's running for president of Colombia.
Well, he was
Shot today.
He was more than a shot. He has a new ear on the side of his temple. He was doing a rally, an election rally, and the timing is questionable because he stands there and he's talking, and then he's like, I don't know what he was saying. It was in Spanish, but he did this. And after he did the second one, a bullet went right where his finger went.
Oh.
So it happened to be some very coincidental timing, because it sure sounded like he said, "Put a bullet here," and then someone listened.
Well, you don't tempt the drug cartels.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know any of the details. Zach knows more about it than I do.
I saw a video that I wish I didn't see.
Apparently, he's still alive, though. At least they're not saying he's dead. They're just saying he was shot.
I was going to say, if I will be shocked if he's still running in the campaign, though. We shall see. Now I was asking if you use the bamboo printers because I'm debating which we're looking at them and we're debating between models. So,
if you're gonna do production work, a bamboo.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's just which bamboo.
That's a good question.
That's the part I'm struggling with. It's the bamboo that does the 4 colors. That's the first thing we're doing.
Yeah.
But
well, there's your quick 1,500.
Yeah, if you're only ordering one. Coming soon, Christmas 2025.
Yeah, Chris, that's pretty much the.
Yeah.
Zach, let me ask you this: was it Shades of Zapruder?
Huh? I don't know what that means.
I think Joe got that. I know
Mm-mm.
John did.
Was it what of what's?
Shades of Zabrudder,
Oh, like shades of colors? Or
something like that.
well, the white hood of the car is no longer a white hood.
Well, Zapruder is the guy that filmed the Kennedy assassination.
Oh.
Ah, and they didn't exactly cover that part in history class when I was
I
in
didn't
school.
even get taught World War II, let alone the JFK assassination. So
Well, the thing is, nobody knew the Zapruder film existed until the early to mid 70s.
sure they didn't.
Well, nobody, no civilians knew because it was immediately
There you go.
sequestered,
Classified.
whatever you want.
And there's a second film out there that somehow didn't get released when all the files were dumped.
You could get one of these, Joe Dog. I don't know how big of a print you want, but these are actually far more reasonable than I thought. And it's bamboo. Share. Share. So many buttons. Share. Look at that. It's only
Oh,
449 Canadian dollars.
yeah. But the thing is, you know how big that build plate is?
Yes.
6 by 6. And that's
Is it
inches.
6? Oh. That's very small.
That looks like a precision, like for doing jewelry or something.
Yeah, I'd make the joke of that's what she said, but normally a woman wouldn't say that about 6 inches. So
Does it say the bed size? Where? Let's see. Oh, there. Well, I guess it's 180 by 180 millimeters. So,
So
math.
it's 18 centimeters by 18 centimeters by 18 centimeters.
Alexa, how big is 180 millimeters? 7.1.
Oh, look at that. Got a whole extra inch.
That's what she said.
That'd be fun.
I'm sitting here trying to scroll Zach's picture.
What are you trying to look at?
I was just it kept moving and I kept wanting to move it back. And
Oh. Yeah, the other ones are. Yeah.
that looks like the kind you do like D&D miniatures with, because he's got a little house there on that thing.
Yeah.
This is the
Yeah.
part where I'm like, there's so many different ones.
That looks industrial right there.
That's
Flagship
your bamboo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's damn 1,900 now.
Canadian. And that's
Well,
that's with the 4-color feeder.
well, it would have to come through the United States to get up there.
Heck no, it wouldn't.
I probably could walk in a place downtown, not even downtown, and get this. I have the supplier here. How big is this bed? This isn't cool. This is cool. The anti-vibration
Yeah.
that it has now, and the AI, so it detects if it starts spaghettiing. Apparently, that's only on the first layer. I don't know why it's the whole, not the whole. Let's see, 256, which would be
Alexa,
double.
volume 10. Alexa, how much is 256 millimeters?
256 millimeters is about 10.08 inches.
about the size of my build plate.
We could make it work. My build plate's, I think, 16.
Hey Zach,
Yes.
what voltage is Canada?
They're
power.
They're on the U.S. standard.
Just checking.
Whatever comes out of the wall.
Yeah, they're on the 110.
Okay, just checking. Well, the thing is, France and England
We ain't that crazy.
are both 220. So
Yeah, and England and pretty much all of Europe 220. Apparently, Americans aren't dumb enough to let go of electricity.
Probably not.
I used to help do setups for conventions down at the Reed House. The Reed House is like an old hotel in Chattanooga. And there's this one room at the Reed House. It's kind of interesting. If you know where to look in the room, they've got like 100-year-old 220-volt outlets from back when everything in the country was 220 volt. And then they went in and put the 110 stuff in later, but the 220 is still there. So.
Yeah, Americans, Europeans, don't crawl under stuff and work on stuff themselves. They hire experts to do it, whereas Americans do it yourself and get fried under the house.
See, my mom's second husband, man who raised me, pretty much, he was a union electrician, worked for TVA, local 175, International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, and all that sort of good stuff. So, we had 20,000 volt Christmas ornaments. Okay, kid you not, hand blown neon Christmas ornaments that you put in the window, and they had that big transformer. It's like half a shoebox.
Oh, yeah. I want one of those.
We'd go to sleep at night, and, like around Christmas, and you're all damn night. And so.
I had one at one time. I took coat hangers. They never touched each other. They're about that far apart. I'd turn that thing on, and I'd get zzz.
Of course, now we grew up back in the day when you could like buy uranium at the hobby store, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What was the name of that hobby store at Ashland Terrace, at Highland Plaza?
A&M Toys.
A&M Toys. And you go in there, they had all the science. You could buy the little beakers and buy cobalt and uranium and fun stuff like that. And model rockets and glow fuel for your airplanes. And
yeah, when they went out, Red Top Furniture went into toys. The hobby,
they were down on Main Street, weren't they?
Yeah. I'll never forget, we got the airplane fuel that was 75% nitromethane.
You can still get nitromethane if you know where to shop.
Hobbytown, USA.
I was thinking about the place that sells fuel for dragsters, but yeah, that'll do.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you know how combustible that nitromethane is when you pour it onto a smoldering rag? It turns your jug into a rocket. And it's best to do it at night.
Yeah, because you can't see it burning during the day.
Yeah.
So it's just Blue Origin's rocket.
Pretty much, yeah.
With no oxidizer.
Yeah.
So what are you looking at, Joe?
Try and find some more stuff for the paracord I've been doing. It's amazing how hard it is to find like decorative, like charms and stuff.
Have you tried Walmart? I know it sounds stupid, but
Haven't tried Walmart yet.
Walmart
But I
have
was at Michael's earlier.
that might be a good one. Walmart used to have the decorative paracord that was in all sorts. I've still got some pink paracord laying around, fluorescent pink,
Mm-hmm.
and I liked that stuff for tying up certain things so you could see it in the distance. Because everything in the military was green.
Joe, you've heard the story about Michaels and Joanne, the theory.
Yeah, they were married and got divorced.
Yeah. Well, guess what happened yesterday?
Green paracord.
They Michael's bought out the rights to their
Private line.
yeah, for the yarn.
So Michael's got everything back.
Yep. Just had to wait for the bitch to file bankruptcy.
And you know they bought it for pennies on the dollar.
Oh yeah.
Just like that company that bought Big Lots.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and I'm gonna tell you, I felt so cheated when I went into the new Big Lots over at Holland Plaza, John.
Why?
Remember how cheap some of the Big Lot stuff was?
Yeah.
What Big Lots used to have was Walmart quality. It looks like an oversized Chinese bin box.
Ooh.
Have you ever hit one of the local flea markets, Joe?
Not in a long time.
Well, the Chinese bin boxes, the joke on the Chinese bin boxes is they have these boxes with stuff in them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everything's the same in the box, and they got the price on the box. And I mean, it's priced like it should be in China. You know, the big, 290 quart aluminum stock pot for $15. Yeah, that's kind of stuff they got in there.
Gotcha.
What the hell was that?
This is an old iPhone.
Yeah.
And out of all the notifications I've had the whole time we've been here, for some reason that one also got that last one from Twitter.
Yeah.
And it vibrated.
Okay.
It was the confirmation that SiriusXM 10 has been cataloged in a 192 by 21,920 kilometer orbit.
Ah, okay.
So that satellite's going, wee!
Oh. John may get this, but Zach will. You know the new Switch 2 came out.
Yes, I've been watching videos on it.
Have you heard the updated user agreement that they just put out?
No.
If you modify your Switch in any way, they deactivate it.
How would they do
Really?
that? That'll get challenged.
It's all internet based.
I guess if you jailbreak it, then yeah, they probably could lock stuff down. But
the games, that little card for the games.
Yeah, but almost all the games are digital now.
Yeah.
No one buys them on the card.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, that little card is your key code to unlock the game to download it.
You can just download it from the online store.
Well, from what I'm understanding, there will be no. It's going to GameStop pretty much not going to be able to sell used Switch 2 games.
I see what you're saying. Yes, yeah, that was an issue with Switch 1 too. Like you can't sell used games anymore. I mean, even Xbox is like all the games that are on my Xbox. I think only 2 of them I actually own. Everything else is on a subscription base.
Yeah. And did you hear what GameStop did to one of the first games that was released?
No.
Took the receipt, stapled it to the front of the box.
Oh, I did hear this.
And stapled it right through the screen.
Oh.
Yeah, so the box that the Switch comes in is like the normal thin box like most stuff comes in. But there's literally, when you open it, there's literally just a little tiny like postcard or something on top, and you take that off, and then it's the device, but the screen is facing up. And it wasn't just one store. Apparently, there is a large series of people that didn't know till they got home. So, like hours of GameStops that were being sold, stapling receipts, and now Nintendo is having to work with GameStop to figure out how to replace all these units because it's not exactly the person's fault.
Yeah. And GameStop's got to eat the bill.
Yup. I'd get one, but not the $699 US.
Yeah, no.
I have a Switch 1, but I have the OLED version. That's the thing that's annoying. They didn't bring out the Switch 2 in OLED. They did that with Switch 1. They brought out Switch 1, and then a year later they brought out Switch 1 OLED. And now it's been a few years. And now they're going to bring out Switch 2, and everyone's expecting in a year they'll bring out Switch 2 OLED. But why do you not have
the LED
screen?
is? What does the O mean? Joe?
Tiny.
What?
I'm not too sure. OLED is the one where you can actually get true black.
The O in OLED stands for organic.
Of all words, organic?
Well, the vegans will love that.
Oh my god. Yeah, I have the OLED one. And don't get me wrong, I like the Switch. I like the idea of it.
Relies upon an organic material made of hydrocarbon chains to emit light.
Yep.
Interesting.
So it's carbon based.
It's the new life form.
I don't know.
And that's how we get Skynet.
Oh, we've already got that. It's an interesting console. It's an interesting idea. The Joy-Cons look a lot more functional because they made the screen bigger. The Joy-Cons are larger, so if you do take them off and play with them sideways with like 2 people, before you were playing, it was like this if I played it. Now it's at least a little more normal rather than tiny. They did bring out one feature that no one in the world has asked for. Any guesses what this feature could be?
Auto battery saver?
No, that would be smart. I'll put a picture on the screen, and maybe it'll. Why is it so slow? There we go. This picture will give you a hint at it.
Oh, the little thing to go between the controllers?
Nope, they've had that before. So you see the orange Joy-Con on the far right?
Yeah.
Any ideas why it's in that position?
No.
Oh, to use as a looks like an old school Nintendo, just with a joystick in the center.
It's now a mouse.
Oh, okay.
You can drive it around on a table and use it as a mouse. Nobody asked for the Joy-Cons to be a mouse. There is no reason to need a mouse on the Switch. It's touch screen. You don't need a mouse.
I don't know. There's some games I like playing with a mouse.
But you're not playing on a Switch.
What if I download Diablo or Diablo 2? Okay. Which
Then
that
you
game pretty much
shouldn't
that game will wear out a mouse faster than any other game on the planet.
If you're a true Diablo player, you're not playing it on a Switch.
Why not? Okay. Military guys stationed overseas carry stuff like this for the downtime because a lot of what you do is just sit around and wait.
Oh, the classic military phrase, hurry up and wait.
That's government in general.
Well, your aircraft has been delayed for 3 days and we don't have hotels rooms for you. So just sack out here in the airport.
I'm waiting to see how long it takes people to break off this nub. Because both of the Joy-Cons this time are magnetic. The first generation slid in and then slid out. These magnetic on, and there's a release button. But if you just go, they also can break off if you just pull hard enough. Like the magnet just releases. So I think that'll be a failure point.
Yeah.
For people that are rough with it. But
Well, it's a sensitive piece of equipment. You're not supposed to be rough with it.
yet the first game they put on it is Mario Kart, which everyone's going to be yelling at the screen and throwing it when they lose.
Guaranteed, payments for repairs, I guess?
Maybe. That was the other thing they rolled out with it. Another feature that nobody asked for. Nintendo now has Nintendo Chat, where you can play and chat with your friends, because Nintendo doesn't want anyone using Discord. So they brought out basically voice chat for Nintendo, but there's a slight problem. You have to pay for it. It's $19.99 or something a month just to be able to voice chat with your friends, when Discord's free and we've all been doing it for a decade. But if you would like to, you can buy the $129 plug-in webcam. That is a beautiful 720p webcam. Someone did not think at Nintendo.
Oh, they thought.
Wow.
They just overthought.
Overthought, underthought, thought about it 20 years ago and just stuck to that idea.
Well, that's like the new BMWs. The seat warmers after the first year are a monthly subscription.
What?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. You own the car. That's going to get challenged in
You know
court.
what? You just reminded me of something, Joe Dog.
What?
Did you leave your seat warmer on?
No. I was heading to friend one of the girls I went to school with, her daughter graduated high school this year, so I went down to Winnemac, Indiana for their graduation party. And I ended up behind, let me see if I can transfer this picture real quick. I ended up behind this little mini Mazda. And actually, you know what, let me... Oh, shoot, how do I do this? Edit, there we go. Yeah,
Oh, while
edit this
Joe's looking for that. Y'all have seen the videos of Victor, the Soviet mechanic?
Oh, yeah.
Somebody turned a BMW into one of those transformer-like things, and it starts standing up. The lights start flashing on it, all that. Then Victor comes on and goes, "That is total bullshit. Total AI bullshit. I've worked on BMW for over 30 years. Not a one has a working turn signal."
Nice.
I only saw my first BMW turn signal actually work last year.
Scared you to death?
I had to do a double take to see if it was actually a BMW. Thought maybe it's a Fiat or an Alfa Romeo, and I just, they both got those little disc emblems on the or on the hood. So,
well, I've learned in Atlanta they now use their turn signals. If you see one flash, you better slam on the brakes because some bitch is coming over. Oh. Uh-oh, Joe, what have you got?
So it's this little bitty.
Oh, yeah.
Shit. It's a little bitty Mazda.
Yeah.
That's a tall cart with walls.
It's a minimum of a 1999 model. They're starting.
This one's in really good condition.
Yeah. The only problem is their top speed is, you're holding on to stuff at 50.
Oh, his top speed was higher than that. Because he was pulling away from me. I was doing 60 once we got out of town there.
Well, it was rattling on the inside. I'd hate to buy tires for that thing in, 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, I've never seen a true minivan because it's
it's mini. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to start seeing a lot more of them. But I'd hate to have to buy tires for them. You know what size tires it's got on it? A 10-inch.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it earlier today. I'm like, I want to look up what model that even is, if I can even find it. Yeah, never seen a compact minivan like that. I mean, driver and passenger gotta be damn near sitting on each other.
They're called microvans. There ain't even no pictures of them yet.
Mazda microvan?
Yeah. Oh, here it is. I don't know how big this is going to show up. That's sort of it.
I don't think so. I thought it had more of a regular hood on the front. Because it looked It looks kind of similar to this, but even this one's too wide. You can pull up the one I'm showing, Joe Dog.
Okay, I got to pull mine down. All right.
It had kind of this style hood on it, if I remember correctly.
Okay. Well, I have seen one of these and I want one. Okay. I want one of these.
Oh, yeah. Little mini truck you order from like Japan or something comes.
Yeah. They're right-hand steer, manual transmission. You know, that would be a bitch to try to learn how to drive.
No,
Oh, yeah.
just takes a while to get used to it.
I'm pretty sure I had a mountain bike growing up that had larger tires.
Yeah.
We had to drive a lot of foreign trucks when we were in Iraq. So the weirdest one, just we had a British Ford Explorer, which was nice. You know, had air conditioning and all sort of stuff like that. We used to use it for guard patrols, but it was right or left-hand steer.
Right hand.
Right-hand steer, excuse me. And it just, fortunately, it was an automatic transmission, but it took a little getting used to doing your hands opposite. So.
Now, could you imagine trying to work a stick that way?
Yeah. I'm trying to remember which truck we had that you did that with. We only had one. Most of them were. We had a bunch of Datsuns. We had a bunch of Datsuns. That'll tell you something right there. It was the modern. I'm trying to remember. It wasn't a Nissan. It was actually, they were Datsuns. They were older trucks, but they were kind of like the B2200.
Yeah.
B2200. and my favorite one though was the Tata, which is an Indian motor company.
Yeah.
Okay.
Real basic truck, 4-speed manual transmission. And I got stuck driving that for two reasons. One, it was a piece of crap. I was the only person to keep it running. And two, it was a manual transmission. You think the fucking Tennessee National Guard have a bunch of boys that know how to drive manual transmissions. And we were teamed up with the Texas National Guard. You think between the 150 of us, somebody besides me would know how to drive that damn thing.
Do you know why Nissans were called Datsun? Mr. Nissan went to his engineers and said, guys, we have to have a car in America on the road in 6 months. One of them looked up and went, Datsun? And we can tell Zach wasn't paying any attention.
And we're going to stick you in the same room with Kiri. That's just all there's to it.
I was going to say, Kiri just smiled, and they're not sure why.
What was it? Kiri's going back to college, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like I saw that on Facebook. Congratulations, Kiri.
Yes.
To quote one of my favorite movies, congratulations or commiserations, one or the other.
Well, I'm looking into possibly going back to Chattanooga State and taking up welding.
Welding's not that hard, but
No.
it's just, especially what you got now. What kind of welder have you got again?
It's just a flux core.
Okay, so it's just standard old-fashioned arc welder.
Yeah, well, it's a MIG welder. It's a wire feed,
Well, it does have wire feed. Now, see, that's
Yeah.
that's different. That's not.
but it's the flux is inside
Hmm.
the wire instead on the
Interesting.
outside.
So
I mean,
they got those gas powered ones now that you don't have to have flux. So it's just run
oh
that,
yeah, that's
that
pure
special
MIG.
wire. I think it's tungsten or something like that.
Yeah.
MIG, TIG, one of the. I can't
Yeah,
remember.
TIG's the one's got the tungsten that you got to actually. That's an art is the TIG welding.
Yeah, my brother's got one of those. They just you'd be surprised what he can spot weld that thing. He can take apart parts on a Mercedes that aren't supposed to be taken apart,
Mhm.
refurbish them, and put them back together, and save his customer $5,000.
My uncle used to do that with the Ford Never Spark on the dash, up under the not on the dash, on the firewall, that little block that Ford had, their electronic ignition.
Well, gentlemen, I have to go. The wife just got home from the Talkerts, so
Oh boy,
I
go
will see.
go console her. I mean, say hi to her and.
Yep, I'll see you guys later.
All right. And it's looking like there won't be a last man standing tonight.
That we know of.
I am here, but I am also watching a live stream from Disney World right now.
What's happening?
It is the final showing of Muppet Vision 3D. The entire Muppet world is closing today at Disney.
Oh,
But they're bringing them back. Muppets are taking over the Aerosmith Rock and Roller Coaster next year. But the entire Muppet world that's been there since the 90s is being demolished and turned into what's it called? Monsters Inc. world.
no.
So they're actually building the Scream Factory. They're
Now,
gonna
what did they do with Tower of Terror? I know they changed that one too.
So most of them are now Guardians of the Galaxies rides, but there is still one or two that's still. I think Florida is the only one that's still the original Tower of Terror.
I always regretted we went to there, and that was one of our favorite rides when we went there. And they had, I'm trying to remember, the Hollywood Tower Hotel. They had a gift shop down while you were waiting in line to go do the ride. They had a bathrobe with the logo Hollywood Tower Hotel.
Ooh, that would be
White bathrobe, gold embroidery. Okay, look, $165. And that
This
was
is
back.
like 800 now.
Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah. And it looked good, but there were two things. One, it's a white bathrobe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. But just for the, and you can't really wear it anywhere. You know, that's the.
You wear it at home.
You can wear it at home. You can wear it at sci-fi conventions and stuff like that. You know. So.
Well, that was one of the we did Disneyland a number of times. We only did Disney World once when I was a kid. But I refused to do Tower of Terror because I thought it was just a drop ride. And I've never done a drop ride. I don't plan on doing a drop ride. But I didn't know that there was all the lead up and like other stuff as part of it.
Yeah. It's the drop is just.
It's a very small
part of it.
portion. Yeah, it's like a third or a quarter of the whole ride. And now having watched videos of it as an adult, I'm like, that doesn't look that bad.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. The only reason it's bad, the only reason it's weird, it's in the dark.
Right.
Except for the few parts where they bounce you somewhere and all of a sudden the wall in front of you disappears and you're looking at Disney World and then the wall closes again and you're bouncing around in the dark again. So
I'd like to do it once before they get rid of it, but I'm also like, I'm not sure if they'll ever actually get rid of the last one at Disney. I mean, they probably will at some point. They're pushing IP on everything. And that's what some people are liking because some of the stuff they've pushed IP on has been great. But then other things they've been pushing the IP on, like, no. Like, why? Don't get me wrong, Tiana's old Splash Mountain, that's now Tiana's Bayou Adventure, it's cute. But it's not Splash Mountain, even though it is Splash Mountain.
Yeah. And now they used to have Frontierland when I
They
was
still have it. And that big water area where they used to do that, they still do the ferry. And then they had you took a little boat over to the island and it was like a ropes course.
Yeah.
All of that is closing. I think it's next month. They don't know where the boat's going, but apparently they are trying to make plans to relocate it to one of the waterfront properties because it's the original steam boat and they don't want to lose that. But all that is being turned into a national park themed land to help merge Frontierland and Big Thunder Railway and Tiana's Bayou Adventure. They're going to build like 3 different national parks all together, and it's going to be a Cars ride. Because Cars doesn't exist in Florida, it's only in California.
Well, as long as they don't get rid of Space Mountain.
No, but they are. I don't know the U.S. ones have any plans to be redone, but Shanghai's been closed for like 2 years. They took the whole building down and built a new one. They're going to have to do that with each of them at some point. It is because it's a gravity-based ride, it needs new tracks at some point.
Yeah. That, they used to have, did you ever go on Mission to Mars, Zach?
Yes. I went before they split it into 2 things.
Right. And then they turned it into some sort of alien monster adventure or something like that.
Mission to, maybe not. What ride are you talking about?
Mission to Mars.
Maybe not then. There's Mission Space, which took you to Mars.
Yeah.
The G-Force one?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
You were in the theater, the seats leaned back, and yeah.
No.
Oh.
When I went in, you walk into a pod, and like on the side, and you sit in a chair, and then the whole thing encloses in on you, and it spins you in a centrifuge. I went on it in 2004 or 5 as a kid, and was so excited. Our family didn't realize that it was actually a G-Force level ride. You experience more G's on it than Falcon 9 when it operates properly. And they didn't have enough warnings on it that people were getting sick on it constantly. That they actually had to close the ride less than 6 months or a year after opening it and restructure it. And now they have a G-Force lane and a no G-Force lane where one, it does the whole normal ride to Mars, and then they made a whole new scenario, which it does all the tilting, but it doesn't spin the ride.
Okay.
What was the Mission Space one?
You're in a big theater. Woo! Okay. No. Ric Flair has cancer. Woo! Okay. Rick would have laughed at that. Okay.
Who's Ric Flair?
You don't know who Ric Flair is?
He's from Canada.
I might know the face.
Okay. He's a wrestler.
The Nature Boy.
He's an older wrestler. And he got into management somewhere down the line. And his big thing.
He comes out to 2001 Space Odyssey and goes, whoa!
I've never watched that.
And we'll just hang around here, John.
It's on my list.
But no, the one Mission to Mars we were on is you were in these big chairs, like you were in your own space chair, and you simulated a launch and go into hyperspace and go into Mars. And something went wrong. You had to hyperspace back before you got killed.
That does not exist anymore.
But the chairs, as you were going, the chairs would lean back to simulate, G-force and all that. It's just like, we're having a problem here. We're going to have to head back to Earth on an emergency hyperspace. And all of a sudden your chair drops back.
And this is at Disney?
Yeah.
I have never in my life heard of this. I'll have to see
I've
if there's
only
a
went
video
to
of it.
Disney once, and they had this thing. It was like this. You walk into this thing, and there's this bar. You know, like the bar at Halicon. You know, you sort of lean up on, and you're standing there, and somebody told me, you know, just hold on to this. I said, okay. And there was filmed in 360 of a hang glider going through the Grand Canyon. And you could see the whole room as it would bank. You could see the whole room lean to one side. That's when they'd let you fall on the floor and not, you know, it was no big deal.
It's funny. I'm watching this stream and people are like, they're not refusing to leave, but they're not leaving. So they had to do wristbands for people that wanted to be in the last show. The line to see Muppets since rope drop this morning has been the longest queue in the entire park all day. Beating Star Wars, beating everything. Because so many people have come and they're like serial riding it. So they just get off and get back on it to do it as many times as possible. So there's people that have been on it apparently like 10 or 12 times today.
Well, you'll never get to do it again.
I know, and I never got to do it.
Hmm.
It's unacceptable.
Exactly, Chris. That was before lawsuits.
Space Mountain might be the oldest ride in the park, but it sells along signs. It doesn't. Believe it or not, it doesn't. Tron is beating it. And I think this is a spicy take. I think there's a place that Space Mountain doesn't come back at some point.
Yeah. What you want?
Okay.
Okay.
Tron is the modern day take on Space Mountain. And it's built right next to it. Now, it's a different type of ride, but it's a bigger ride, it's a faster ride, it's a higher tech ride, it's more user friendly, like it's more ADA compliant. Like last time I went to Magic Kingdom and went to do Space Mountain, did the whole queue and everything. I could not ride the ride. I didn't fit in the car to do it. The ones in Florida are 1-seater sausages. The ones in California are 2-seater benches. So they're a different ride car. For Tron, you're on a special bike, which is also difficult to get onto. I haven't tried Tron, but a lot of people, even people that are incredibly muscular or are tall, can't ride Tron because you're riding on a bike. But to fix that, they built a car that's on the end of like every third set of vehicles. That's just a normal bench that you can wheel a wheelchair on, you can sit on it, like to make sure everyone can be on that ride. And I think there's a place that Space Mountain could be at some point. I don't see why they need Tron and Space Mountain. They're a similar type of ride. And if they could get rid of Space Mountain and bring in a whole new world, like a whole new like section of a park, but as a world, there's probably more they could do. I'll probably lose my annual pass over that, but
well, you know, the thing about space, have you ever seen Space Mountain with the lights on?
yeah, I've watched a number of videos with the lights on. It's a scary ride.
It's scarier with the lights on than with the lights off.
Oh, absolutely it is.
You can see the metal coming at your head.
Well, and that's the thing is I was a dumb child that I watched that before I went as a kid. And I'm tall, but then I'm with my uncle who was 6'4". And we went on that, and I'm scared of hitting my head. He's ducking the whole ride just to make sure. And I'm like, no. It's also, it hasn't been it's been maintained. Like they've done version, like they've did a Christmas one, they did a Star Wars version. That's like an overlay they put on it. But my friends went the time I went last year. Yeah, it was last year technically. And they said it was incredibly painful because it's a gravity-fed ride. It is just, it throws you now. It's not smooth. And it's, it's a classic Disney ride, but
It's a roller coaster, damn it.
yeah, but there's better roller coasters. I'm excited for the new Monsters Inc. roller coaster. And I'm not a roller coaster person.
Now, which one? You said the Aerosmith was going to be Monsters Inc.
Rock and Roller Coaster will now no longer be Aerosmith. It'll be reskinned as Muppets.
As Muppets. Okay. Yeah,
Muppets.
That was a good roller coaster.
That one is a launch roller coaster. That's like 0 to 70 or 90 or something, like out of the boarding gate. Yeah. It's interesting.
You gotta get at the concert. Step on it.
Well, people are wondering if they're going to do what they did with Guardians, which the new Guardians ride, which again is like another take on Space Mountain-ish, is there are 11 different songs. And each car, like it randomly generates which song you hear. So you could ride it 50 times and still by chance not hear all 11 songs. And though the ride is the same, the different songs apparently do make it feel a bit different. So I wonder if that's what they'll do with the Muppets, just to give it more variety. It's all Space Mountain. That's the thing. You can't get rid of the name Space Mountain. But Muppet 3D is officially closed.
Is that what they said?
The person's live stream I was watching had a wristband for the last show, and he was one of the last people out of the room. And they closed the door behind him. So 1991 to 2025. The longest running 3D show at any park. So apparently people were in queue for like 3 hours to be in the last show. Well, Disney's trying. They're going to have a hard time competing with Epic Universe.
What the heck was that?
What?
Oh, I was playing with the show comments on stage thing.
Oh, okay.
See, we ain't got nobody down there, so it ain't going to show up on somebody's face.
Chris, say something so it'll pop up on the screen.
Up there you go, and put everybody. Now it's going to show up. Yeah.
Yeah, StreamYard now has a feature you got, Zach. Comments on screen.
So the only thing I hate that nobody does at one, well, StreamYard does it sort of. A few other, they offer you to let you pull up the comments like you guys do, but I hate that they don't let you design it. That is the biggest failure point of all of these platforms. Like, yes, most people don't care, but if you have the ability, there should be a way of uploading like a custom layout or designing a custom layout.
Isn't that what the British Space Agency does?
Yeah. But there's still limitations to it. We've built it a couple of times. The thing is, for it to work, the YouTube, people have to chat. It has to appear in your YouTube chat. Your system has to read the YouTube chat, pull it into your system. So you're introducing another delay. Then you have to either yourself be watching it or have one of your team watching it. And then normally how it works is your team watches it, flags it, that's a good question. Then it moves it to a different queue that just the hosts watch. And then when the hosts are ready, they can hit show on screen. You introduce multiple delays, and that's one of the reasons why they don't answer questions. I mean, for many reasons, but one of them is and you're talking seconds, generally speaking, but I mean, it's still less than, oh, I see a question pop up, I can just answer it immediately. So, but it is nice to have it on screen. So. You said lights on, and now I'm seeing videos of all the different rides with the lights on. Tower of Terror with the lights on. Space Mountain with the lights on.
Bukkake.
You know who doesn't have its lights on anymore? The Hudson Bay Company.
Huh?
You don't know? So the Hudson Bay Company was a department store, originally the governor and company of the adventurers of England trading into Hudson Bay. It was founded on May 2nd, 1670. It closed last week.
Oh,
After all this time, they were, you know, Sears.
yeah.
They were the biggest competitor to Sears when I was a kid. Like one end of your mall had a Sears and the other end of your mall had a Bay. Y'all had a Sears and a J.C. Penney's.
Yeah.
The Bay was our version of a J.C. Penney's, but they had they had a much more expensive part of the store. Like you could buy cashmere from the Bay, and like silks and stuff. But you could also go buy T-shirts and like toys. So
Yeah. Where
We had,
Walmart screwed up is, the malls would still be alive if they had. The malls would still be alive if Walmart had a attachment to a mall.
yep. You know what's funny?
What?
Walmarts are now buying the old Bays and Sears. We have 2 malls in Edmonton now that have 2-floor Walmarts in them, like 2-story tall Walmarts.
you know what they need? They need a Walmart with like an observation deck up top where all your little like fast food places are, and they have a little like food court.
Yep.
It's up on the second floor. You can look over into the Walmart at all the people
watch.
shopping, because that is entertainment.
It really is. How the heck do they not last? People shop online. One of the things is the Bay was, for my generation, the Bay was expensive. You went to Walmart or online to buy your clothes. You went to the Bay if you wanted something nice. Like you could go to the Bay and buy prom dresses and suits all year round. They tried to have casual stuff. They had the very traditional, like ridiculously massive cosmetics, perfume, jewelry department that was like
Our Sears had prom dresses and tuxedos and rentals and stuff like that. So,
they were very similar. The Bay and Sears, like when we would go Christmas shopping, we'd go to Sears and then you'd walk across the mall and you go to the Bay, or vice versa. That was, you went to both and you normally got most of your Christmas shopping done.
yeah, we had local stores, Loveman's, Miller's, Belk's bought out somebody, I can't remember whom. What's that other one we got?
Some company bought out Loveman's,
Right.
and then Belk bought them. And Loveman's was the local.
Well, Miller's was the really local one, but
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly, Chris.
And that's where I think the Bay had to pivot, and I think the Bay would have been successful if they pivoted into a Louis Vuitton size store where they sold the expensive cashmeres and the silks. And one of the things with the Bay is they were famous for their 4 stripes, which was a green, red, yellow, and a navy. It was like a 4-stripe. And if you saw the 4 stripes and you're from Canada, you knew Hudson Bay Company. And it became a thing that people would wear, like cashmere scarves or blankets or hats and gloves that had the stripes. Well, now that they've gone fully belly up, Canadian Tire has bought the stripes, the brand, and the logo. And I think they're going to probably launch them in their store as a relaunch of the Hudson Bay brand, but not as an individual store. And I think that's where the Bay could have pivoted, is just had one of these smaller stores, like one a city, selling the expensive goods of their brand and not worrying about carrying. I mean, the Bay that I went to growing up to was a 4-story store. And it was the size of like a massive Sears. Like JCPenney's was normally smaller than the Bay. And
Did we ever have? Okay, Profits. That's the one I was trying to
Yeah,
remember.
Profits bought out Loveman's, and then Belk bought out Profits.
And then Rich's department store. Did we ever have one of those here?
We had a Richway.
JCPenney screwed up when they went away from sales. Did they go away from sales? I haven't been to a Penny's in years. We used to go to Penny's, and then we kind of pivoted and fell in love with Macy's.
Okay, of course, Woolworth, Murphy's and Woolworths. They were all over this. Then we had Hills department stores.
We had Woodward's and
Woolworth.
No, Woodward's.
No, Woolworth.
They must have been different stores. I'm pretty sure.
They still have them in Europe. They just closed all the American stores, apparently.
Let's see. Yeah, well, ours was Woodward's. It was a different store.
Woolco. We never had one of those, but Zayre, we did. We had a lot of Zayres.
Yeah, we had 3 Zayres here. I miss the Zayres downtown. That was neat. Zayres and Red Food teamed up, and Zayres was upstairs, and Red Food Store was downstairs.
And they were connected by an escalator.
Yeah. So
And,
you could do your. I mean, it was basically the concept of a Walmart superstore in the 60s.
Yeah, and then see that shopping center downtown had a lot of really good stuff in it. Had the Shoney's on the corner.
Yeah.
That was one of the original Bob's Big Boy Shoney's, and
Yeah.
they had the big fiberglass Big Boy out front with the holding the hamburger. Service merchandise. Yeah, that was another one we had. That was the club thing, though. If I remember, you had
Yeah.
It's like a catalog sort of thing.
Well,
it is that time, ain't it?
Yeah. If we want to keep going, we can keep going because there ain't no Dan around to take over. Or we could wrap it up here, whatever y'all want to do.
Well, we can keep going, but I have to get a beer first.
All right, go get a beer.
Oh, yeah. Was there any rocket news in the last couple of weeks here, Zach? Because I know there was one show I wanted to have you for something. Oh, yeah. I wanted to talk about what's NASA going to do if Elon cancels.
That won't happen.
Yeah, Elon threatened to decommission everything, and then that tweet went away for some reason.
Yeah.
You think Gwen grabbed him by the damn ear and said, "Shut the fuck up"?
Probably. Japan crashed a lunar lander into the surface of the moon. Oops.
Oh.
Again?
Did it actually crash? Or
yeah. Apparently, I haven't read the official quote myself, but apparently the quote is, "The ground came up faster than we expected."
Oh, yeah. Blame it on the moon.
Yeah. Yeah, when they were the last frame of data, because we were only getting like frames, we weren't getting images, but we were getting frames of data basically on the YouTube stream. The last frame we got before it nulled out the data was they were traveling at 52 meters a second, and they were at 51 meters in altitude.
Yeah, that's what you call. Let me see. That's about 150 feet in a second. So I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to put that into auto accident.
Yeah. Well, John, here is how everybody around the world knew something screwed up. Is on the screen. You saw this.
That too.
Oh, what was the?
They were not very good at hiding their emotions.
It was one of the Apollo pieces, and I can't remember which one. But after they discarded it, it went into orbit around the moon. I'm not sure if it's a service module or what, but or it might have been a lunar module that after I don't know if they kicked it away, but it went into orbit around the moon, and it orbited the moon for decades. But it had this really weird elliptical orbit. And they said they were tracking it, and they said at some time it would orbit the moon at an altitude of like 80 feet.
Yeah, it was Apollo. It was Eagle.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
The Apollo 11 Eagle?
Yeah. Eagle is still up there. All right, go get your beer, John.
Okay, if I have to. Forcing me to do it. Walk all the way down there and open.
Disney's announced who the last person was to board the Muppets ride.
Yeah.
And it was Jim Henson's daughter. And Jim Henson was the one with the Muppets.
Yeah. Well, that's fitting.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, when India screws up, have you ever noticed they never show the controllers?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but yeah, Japan, you knew something. This is a good sign you knew something was wrong.
Yeah.
Like, how could we fuck it up twice? And that's pretty much the same thing that happened last time, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, I'm not sure. And so they've got apparently like 9 more at least planned, 9, 10 or more of them planned. So they'll figure it out eventually, but
so now, do you think Elon's going to go rogue and just do his own lunar program and his own Mars program?
I won't be surprised we see something come out of SpaceX on the Polaris project or Polaris program. I don't think Elon will let China steal the moon, even if the United States is going to. Because did you hear about the sudden funding increase coming to NASA?
Yeah, Ted Cruz goes, bullshit.
Yeah. What you want to bet that's why Elon went and started that stuff with Trump? And made him think he was going to have to rely upon NASA wholly because he done pissed off Musk, and now they got money. So, and Musk is going.
Well, now suddenly SLS is not canceled, and it won't be canceled till at least Artemis 5. And that space station that we already built, the Lunar Gateway, that's a 1/4 inch too big to fit on the fairing, and is about 150 pounds overweight. The Falcon can't even get it to the moon. Oh yeah, we're gonna still launch it.
It's breaking news?
No, it was people calling me. They want me to watch something apparently.
Oh. Breaking news. Did they find the zebra?
No.
SpaceX announces they will be launching Ed the Zebra into space.
John, I don't know if you were here when we were talking about it. The zebra came out of Texas, and it is traveling west on I-40. I think he's going back home.
They do have that incredible migration instinct, you know.
And as he left, how much you want to bet a lot of the mayors on the farm were coming into season?
How many zebras did they have?
It was a breeder in Texas that they got the thing from. And I'm
going to blame it on Canada. I'm going to say the zebra was sitting there. He could smell the Canadian wildfires coming down from Canada, and his danger sense went off, and now he's running his ass off to get away from the wildfires.
Have y'all got your wildfires under control yet?
No.
Oh yeah, I forgot it's Canada. Last year, the property owners and all that were going in trying to clear land to, create a fire break, and were arrested.
Yep.
Yeah, Chris, that's exactly. I think Ed got Mrs. Ed back home. It's like, honey, I'll be back in a little bit. Probably told her, hey, honey, I'm going out to get some beer and cigarettes, and got loaded on a damn truck. What, Zach? Is it that good?
No. It's a chat full of gifts. And some of them are very special.
Oh.
Let's see here. Okay, apparently they're deploying the National Guard in Los Angeles because of all the protests and rioters and demonstrations against ICE trying to deport people.
All right, my turn.
Yep.
And he's gone.
He'll be back, unfortunately. Anyway, did I say that out loud?
Just a little bit.
Let's see here. Have you heard that there is no opposition among any of the European countries for Ukraine to join NATO?
Say that again?
There is no opposition from any of the European countries against Ukraine joining NATO. In other words, they got the clear from everybody to join NATO.
Yep.
And then what was it? Oh, and join the EU. So they'll have euros.
They won't have anywhere to spend them.
Yeah, they're already spending. They got a bank. They got a credit line with Europe right now. So.
What is that? Every time I open Amazon, you never know what you're gonna find.
You know, I say the same thing about several sites that I go to on the internet.
It's now advertising soap. The Dr. Squatch soap.
Oh, yeah, that's normal.
Yeah, I've never seen that on like Canadian Amazon.
Really?
I've only ever seen Dr. Squatch in the States because I use it at the Florida house. I've got some. But it's not cheap. It's expensive soap, but it's nice soap.
It is. It's very good. They sell it at our local hardware store.
That's an interesting place to sell it. They sell it at Cracker. They used to sell it at Cracker Barrel.
I believe they still do, but I haven't been to Cracker Barrel in a while, so I can't.
They didn't have it last time out.
Our Ace Hardware has
Cracker Barrel.
Dr. Squatch soap.
Oh, they sell it at Walmart.
Oh, do they now?
Yeah.
Walmart.
Our local Ace Hardware, they have all the Carhartt clothing, so you can go in there and buy all your clothes. And then right next to that, they've got the Dr. Squatch soap. They've got Chattanooga Beard Company products with the beard soap and the beard wax and oils and stuff like that. They sell barbecue sauce, which is smart because it's right there next to the grills. And they sell home decor. You know, you can go in there and buy all your silly stuff old ladies like to hang around their houses. Yeah. You know, live, love, laugh, manslaughter. You know, all that sort of stuff. And
Wow. They sell it at
Yeah,
Walmart.
I gave up on Dr. Squatch when they started selling at Walmart.
I gave up on Dr. Swatch when I got 3 emails in a day telling me the limited edition bath water from this one lady's bar is getting sold out quickly. Some lady took a bath and they collected it and made a limited edition run of soap for her.
I saw something like that.
Yeah, it was not an April Fool's Day joke.
No,
It was dead serious.
She's one of those internet influencers.
No,
And-
I'm an internet influencer. She's just the internet.
Maybe you should sell your bathwater for soap.
Damn.
Coming soon to tlpstore.com. No.
Oh, I double dog dare you.
I'll sell it in little rocket jars.
No.
Rocket shaped soap. There you
No.
go. No, that would be taken wrong, literally.
John, I triple dog dare you to do it, Zach.
No.
Oh, wait a minute. He's from Canada. We sled dog dare you to do it. Okay.
Ah.
Flick. Where's Flick?
Oh, terrible. But on that big, beautiful note of an idea to make me millions of dollars with something that I already do every day, I'm going to crash out because I do have an early morning launch, supposedly.
What's launching?
Starlink. It's always Starlink. It's actually a busy month, though. We've got a crew mission to the space station. We got a JAXA mission out of Japan. We got a couple of Electrons in there. We might throw it in India. Some Chinese ones. Russia doesn't launch anything anymore except missiles. So.
Yeah, you do it. All right.
Hey, Willie. The thing is, you got here just in time to hear say goodnight, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
But yeah, you have a good one, Zach. You know, I really do miss the Starlink commentary.
It will be back.
Wait a minute. What is Starlink commentary?
Like my Starlink commentary or SpaceX's?
SpaceX or you or whoever.
Well, mine is coming back in the next couple of weeks. We're working on some things. We're adding more. We're expanding.
And you still haven't sent me that damn link, so I'll fill out an application.
You already filled one out.
No, I haven't.
Didn't you fill one out before?
No.
Oh. I was sure I had your name on the application list earlier.
Well,
it hasn't changed in like 2 years.
Do what?
It hasn't changed in like 2 years.
Okay. Well,
I'll send it to you. I just keep forgetting.
No, I understand what you. I ain't putting that damn hick on my show.
We'll just leave them in the chat. No, we're thinking through ideas. I'm probably not I'm not adding any other shows till I'm back and reset up in September. Because I'm probably blowing all of this up and blowing all of that up and resetting everything up. So once I do that, then we'll kind of fresh restart.
All right. Well, with that, let's say the good nights, and I guess I will see y'all Thursday. And there will be, unless John, you want to do it, a Saturday night stupid o'clock. What did you do, Zach?
I said I'll see you Thursday.
Okay. If you want to do a Saturday night, let me know. I'll set it up. But me and Dan will be down at LibertyCon.
Oh, okay.
On
Is that
Saturday.
this weekend? I didn't.
Yeah, it's that time.
Boy, that crept up fast.
And just so everybody knows, we'll talk to y'all later.
I have slit the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds and done 100 things you have not dreamed of. Wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind along and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up, up the long, delirious, burning blue, I've topped the windswept heights with easy grace, when never lark nor even eagle flew. And while with silent, lifting mind, I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space, put out my hand and touched the face of God.